Hello, and welcome to another episode of Broadcast Gaming Talk. There are some things I need to preface this video with before I get into the meat of this video game discussion. The first is that I know literally nothing about any of the Warhammer universes, and no, I've never played the tabletop game, nor do I have any plans to get into it. I only got this game because it looked fun. With that out of the way, let's get into this discussion. Before I bought this game, I watched a pretty in-depth video review of the game, and that review said that this game isn't like Diablo 3 because you have to be tactical. Well, I've never had a situation that required anything tactical aside from running away from enemies and regaining my health if I'm overwhelmed. You have the option to take cover, but shooting from cover isn't really a thing, because if I click on an enemy to shoot while I'm in cover, my guy leaves cover and starts walking towards the enemy while shooting them. So, having the cover system seems kind of pointless when it really only sort of works. This game is really only similar to Diablo 3 in the sense that it's an action RPG game that is isometric and there's loot to collect. That's where the comparison really ends. This Warhammer game has a mix of guns, different types of shields, and additional items like you could have frag grenades, stun grenades, personal teleporter, etc. There are different types of armor that all have different abilities. For instance, the demolition armor has 2 shoulder-mounted missiles, or the assault armor can do a ground-pound shockwave attack. When it comes to guns and melee weapons, there are one-handed and two-handed ones. They have different things they do based on what mouse button or keyboard button you press. An example, the plasma gun is a two-handed weapon. The left mouse button will single fire, right mouse will do like an automatic fire. Number 1 key will do a single like plasma grenade kind of launching thing, and number 2 will do multiple of that same thing. There is management for both energy weapons as well as bullet weapons. You do have unlimited ammo for bullet weapons, but you do still have to reload them. With energy weapons, you have to watch the overheat meter, as it'll take a minute or so for those guns to cool down. It makes it so there are positives and negatives to each kind of gun. I think I had more fun using a melee weapon as one weapon, because you get 2. So my first set would be melee weapon and shield, and then second would be a two-handed gun. Anything you do pick up in missions that you don't want, you can sell. Now, I really have no idea what the story is in the campaign. I've tried my hardest to follow the story of the game, but I just cannot pick up on it. All I do know is that there's a ship called the Martyr that had some really bad experiments done on it by some tech priests, and that's all I've picked up on. Something that I don't really understand is the parts of the inoculator that you can swap. The inoculator is a piece of equipment that when you're low on health, it'll give you some health, and then there's a wait time till you can use it again. You have the option to swap pieces in and out, but I don't really know why or what they do, positives and negatives, even when I'm in the menu looking at them. You also have a tech priest that can do things like forge weapons and armor as well as change your appearance. One thing I'm disappointed with in the customization is how all of the blues look more like gray-blue brushed steel, when all I want is a nice dark blue, but none of the blues look very good. There's plenty of red, orange, greens, and yellows to pick from, but there's like 4 shades of blue and they all look the same. I do appreciate that you can decide how much wear and tear you want on your armor and weapons. So, is Warhammer 40K Inquisitor-Martyr a good game? Yeah, it's a good game. It's pretty fun. As someone who is not into the Warhammer universe, I'm glad I'm able to have fun playing the game. That's all I have to say, so add to the conversation, leave a comment below. As always, thanks for listening, and goodbye.